And then this next one, the sticker price of big ticket items. I think it's really important we help students conceptualize large numbers, talking about things like we hear this word billion pop thrown around all the time, our budget and US budgets, billion, trillion, and recognizing how massive those numbers are, and how much even, 1,000 is. Again, coming back to this concept that what is the value of a dollar? With and the economy and the inflation, like guarantee these kids are hearing these conversations, right? But I had no idea how much a car cost. Maybe you've done one of those activities where you said, if you found $100 on the ground, what would you do with it? And students are like, I would buy my mom a house. I would buy myself a brand new gaming system. I'd get an Xbox. And you're like, that's awesome. You'd get a fifth of an Xbox, so helping them kind of see and estimate what more expensive items actually cost. And this can go as far as cars and houses, honestly. But it can also be, like I said, gaming systems or popular, shoes or things like that. And then it leads to the opportunity to really discuss with your students what those factors are that can lead to those things being more expensive. Again, we're getting into those comparison shopping skills, which I don't know about you, but I really wish I had developed more before credit was an option for me. Once your kids are getting into division, I think your portion or monthly payments can be a really fun estimation station activity. Bringing in like, oh, hey, I went to dinner last night. It cost this much, but I went with 2 friends and we split it. And again, that mental math or looking at tips and tricks for how you can divide things in half or divide things in thirds. Also looking at introducing the idea of monthly payments, dividing a large purchase into installments or chunks, which is setting them up for understanding our credit system as it exists here today. And just giving them that exposure, recognizing, they probably recognize in some contexts you would buy a cell phone straight out, depending on the service and type you're using, but most of the time we're making payments on phones at this point. That's, again, that engagement, that interest, things that kids are kind of universally interested in, gives us that sneaky math, which I love. And then the true cost of adulting. This will obviously really depend on the relationship that you build with your students and how comfortable you are sharing different parts of your life with them. I really leaned heavily into creating a very safe, learning environment. Classroom community was super important to me. And so I did feel comfortable bringing in or sharing anecdotal experiences I had with unexpected expenses. Like I said, the ones that throw your budget off, your car brakes go out. This happened to me in 5th grade. And it's, all of a sudden it's several $1,000s to get it fixed and no one saw that coming. And I am not a person who had emergency savings. So talking about these kind of experiences and troubleshooting and giving them just sort of ideas of what these kind of things, vet bills, emergency vet bills will kill you. My cat ate one of my birthday balloon ribbons. That was a fun experience. So this is a great cell connection. It's a great number talk and giving a glimpse of the real world kind of troubleshooting and decision making that our students would benefit from. Okay, and then the second activity we're going to talk about is Classroom Cafe. This is something we did as a 5th grade team. We rolled it out, I want to say, our 2nd year together, and we did it pretty successfully through all the next 4 years that we were together as a team. We really embraced that PLC method, and I'm proud to say that we had the highest math scores in the district for those 4 years in a row. So this was one thing we did for those decimal skills. In Arizona, 5th grade is all decimals. It's 5th grade for all 4 decimal operations. So we had to reinforce that. We had big achievement gaps. So we created poster menu boards. Each of us created like a little food center, food truck cafe in our classroom. I was Cleaver's Cafe. One year it was Cleaver's Coffee. Lots of alliteration opportunities to talk about why I started cafe and coffee with a K too. So there's some ELA there. And then just anything that sparks student interest, food truck, boba stand. And then a couple of different food items. Always like a 2 for 99 cents or a 3 for $1.50 or something that requires some calculation as well. And then that just permanently lived over at our small group table. And we were constantly pulling kids over, and honestly, the questions, the exercises write themselves, right? If you have money manipulatives and you can use them, this is an excellent way to reinforce those skills, both whole number and decimal, in a remedial setting, or not a remedial setting, but in a small group setting that can really allow you to like focus in. Skip counting can also be great with this, skip counting the amounts or the items as you add them, all decimal operations. And again, that introduction to taxes or splitting with division as well. I mean, obviously you can think of all the different applications for this: placing orders, calculating totals, choosing bills and coins for payment, obviously differentiating this to meet the needs of wherever your students are at. But at 1 year, we had a whole number one and a decimal one that we were working on with different kids, making change for orders, placing the order using criteria like you have to get something for everyone in your family, you have to get something for 3 people in the classroom, and then adding in maybe that budget, that predetermined amount of money. So then they're calculating on a different level. Introducing algebraic thinking. I love that. How many X could you order with Y dollars? So giving them a chance to start developing that variable understanding. And of course, that discussion part, the social emotional part, the opportunity cost of the orders. What I like about doing this in small groups as well is if you have strategies, like if you want kids to practice that skip counting with quarters, for example, it's a great opportunity to really customize it to those needs and meet those students where they are.